Hey everybody, welcome back. It is a good day to have a great day, and today we have Peyton Griffee with us. Peyton, I'm glad you could be here today. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Tim. I'm excited to be here.
Yep. So today we're going to talk a whole lot about the same kind of concept that we've been talking about, right? Sure. Taking the blinders off, not being led by fear. So you're an attorney by trade.
That's right.
You are also a business owner.
Yep.
You are also the state representative for the 26th District of Kentucky.
Yes, sir.
And a captain in the Army Reserve.
That's right. Yeah.
And you're how old?
I'm 28.
28.
Yeah.
28 years old, and you've checked a lot of boxes already.
Yeah.
Super impressive. Way more than I was doing at 28. So yeah, man, I want to dig into how we got to where you are today.
Yeah.
And what it took to get there, right? You don't just fall into that.
Sure.
You know, you can't become an attorney just by waking up one day and deciding that you want to be an attorney. Something you're gonna set in place and work towards. And at 28, you had to have set it in place pretty early.
Sure.
But before that, you had to have a story to get there.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the story to get there. So you're 28 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of walk us through. You know, you were born here locally.
Yep.
Still live here locally.
That's right.
And you contribute a whole lot locally.
Yeah.
But let's go through like childhood. Kind of walk me through.
Absolutely.
Where you started out. I know you played sports.
Yeah.
Let's kind of dig into that.
Yeah. So, again, thanks for having me on, Tim. I'm excited to be here today. So, I am Bullitt County born and raised. My mom is from here. She's our local district judge. So, and my dad is the CFO of Bullitt County. So, I'm a very proud Bullitt Countian, was raised here, grew up here, actually went to high school at Christian Academy in Louisville. So, it was important for me to get a Christian education, and my parents blessed me with sending me there, but it was a great childhood. I had two very supportive parents. I don't think I would be here today without them. They always encouraged me, built me up as a kid. I am not somebody that's a naturally talented person, I like to say. I think I've had really good people that have poured into me as a child, and poured into me now. I have an extremely supportive wife. I'm married to my high school sweetheart, Caitlin. And that really has gotten me to where I am. As a kid, to hear these, when we talk being an attorney and what I really thought I'd be would be a professional football player. That was my goal as a kid in early childhood, playing for the Old Mill Bengals and then playing for Christian Academy. But I stopped growing when I hit about 5'11", 6 foot. I like to say 6 foot, but I think probably 5'11" is a little closer to the truth. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, my early life was really revolved around football. That was my passion in life. That's what I thought I would want to do. And, then as you get older, I think those lessons I learned playing sports as a kid really translated to where I'm at now. Overcoming adversity, like I said, I wasn't the most talented athlete in the world, certainly wasn't the biggest. But I think those lessons of hard work, dedication, discipline really set me up for success later in life. So having parents that were supportive, having a girlfriend and now wife that was supportive, and then those lessons I learned as a kid really translated to get me to where I'm at today.
That's awesome. Awesome. So your parents are still together today.
Yep, that's right.
How old are your parents?
So mom she wouldn't love me to say, but I'll tell you, dad is 64 and mom's younger.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because they're going to listen to this and she'll like that answer.
Yeah, so, she will love that answer.
Yeah.
You've got siblings as well?
I do. So I'm the oldest of three. So my sister, who actually works for me, she's a third-year law student. She's about to finish up at U of L Law School.
Awesome.
And so she has worked for me since I started with my law partner, Hayden Sweat, the Sweat and Griffee law firm. She's been our law clerk since basically day one. Started answering phones, and then now has grown into, she'll be taking the bar this summer and be our first associate attorney. And then I have a brother who's actually working for me right now as well. He's home for the summer. He's an actor. Okay. So he's an acting student at Samford University down in Alabama. He'll be a senior next year. He just got home earlier this week, and he's been at the office typing some things for me, running some errands, picking up lunch, picking up coffee. So I've got two siblings, both great people, both working for me right now.
Very cool. So it's funny, right? So I've talked in a lot of the podcasts that I've done. My parents were divorced. I didn't go to college. I'm the youngest.
Yeah.
You're the oldest. So it's almost like we were polar opposites
sure.
from an upbringing.
Yeah.
I didn't play sports.
Yeah.
but yet we land with the same mindset.
Right.
We land with, that entrepreneurial spirit.
Sure.
And at a young age.
Yeah.
So that's really cool to see that not every story is my story, but the result can still be the same.
Absolutely.
You're 28 years old. You're fast tracking to be very successful.
Yeah.
Recently getting into commercial spaces as far
Yeah.
as rentals.
Absolutely.
We were talking about earlier. Obviously, being the state representative, like that's good stuff.
Yeah.
So you're married, and you married your high school sweetheart, which we have in common, which is also it's like so many things in common, but so many things that are polar opposites as well. So. You've been married. How long have you been married?
We've been married. It would be 4 years this summer.
4 years, and then kids.
Not yet. We'd love to have kids one day. Right now, we're enjoying the dual income, no kids life. So, my wife's a realtor, and which in a lot of purposes, a lot like owning a small business, very entrepreneurial. You're kind of out. She's with a great firm, but you're kind of out on your own.
Right.
And so we've enjoyed that, kind of building our businesses together. These last 4 years, I guess she was a school teacher when we first got married, paid all of our bills through law school, which I'm very appreciative of. And then she switched to real estate. So it's been pretty cool this season of life that we've been in, kind of growing this business together. She's down at Hayden and I's law office all the time doing real estate. We do real estate transactions. So that's been pretty cool. But yeah, married my high school sweetheart, and we went to college together, both went to Georgetown College. And so it's pretty cool when you've been with somebody, as you know, through different seasons of life.
Yes.
We started dating when we were seniors in high school, went through college, 4 years of college together. She was with me in law school when I was working for free for the Attorney General's office, and she's paying the bills. So it's pretty. And then now in this season where we're both growing businesses, and then hopefully one of these days bring some kids. So it's been pretty neat.
That's awesome. So high school sweetheart as well, and so I was 26. So not too much different when we started having kids.
Yeah.
I really want to get to like the childhood, early life. You were playing sports. What or when was it that your direction kind of shifted from like, hey, I want to be pro football? I know you played a year of college football.
I
right?
did.
What was the shift, and kind of walk us through the mindset during that?
Yeah, so I would say early in high school, and we had playing at Christian Academy. I had an amazing experience. But my football coach was Stephon LaForce, who had played at the University of Louisville, and then I had Jason Hilliard was my offensive line coach, and then I was lucky enough to have a dad that was a coach. He coached all the way through, and that was an awesome experience. My freshman, sophomore year, I thought, man, I'd really like to make a run of like trying to play college football and do some of these things. I would say by my junior year, I'd stopped growing. I was playing offensive line. I was a center, and I was about 5'11", 205 pounds. So I kind of figured, okay, this is probably not going to be the final destination for me. Is not going to be playing for University of Louisville and doing all that good stuff. So I would say that started to switch my junior year. It was like, okay, I've been a football player my entire life, and that my identity was kind of tied up in that. What is it that I can put this effort into when I'm done playing sports that I will love as much as playing sports? Right. And that's a hard thing to try to kind of wrestle with. So, junior and senior year, still very focused on sports. I signed to go play at Georgetown. At that point, I knew I was not going to be a long-time college athlete. I was undersized to go play at Georgetown. I use the term play loosely. I basically got beat up for a season. But it was something that I had as a kid, was like, I'm going to play college football. I wanted to prove to myself that I could do that. And so go to Georgetown, play the year just to show that, hey, this is a dream that I want to see out. Right. In some ways you could see that as a failure. I didn't play all 4 years. I just played the 1 year. To me, it was a success just to show, hey, I can do this and I can end this on my own terms.
Right.
But at that point, I've now stopped playing football. I'm at Georgetown, a college that I love, but I'm like, what is it that I'm passionate about? What is it that I actually want to do? I had worked really hard in football. I wasn't a good athlete. Coach LaForce would talk about, I dropped a lot of weight between sophomore and junior year getting in shape. I would do stuff. I would tie a rope around my waist, put my siblings in a small wagon, and run up hills pulling them, to try to get in shape.
Right.
I was doing all kinds of crazy stuff, very dedicated to not as much into my schoolwork, all into football. So I had this drive and this discipline that I had learned through this sport, but what am I going to point that to? And so for me, it took a little bit figuring that out, and that's in college, kind of figuring out which direction do I want to go with this. And I really discovered that I enjoyed public service and political science, and that's really what I put my effort into. Was I started organizing. I organized the college Republicans at Georgetown. I rechartered them. I put effort into working for campaigns at the time. It was. I've found that I really enjoyed that. I'd always thought about law school. My mom is an attorney. My grandfather was an attorney. And so I always knew that I would enjoy that. I don't think I realized, though, how passionate about it I would be until I kind of found this political part of it. And so I put all my effort into that, transitioned all the good habits and all the things that I had learned playing sports into that. And I think that really gave me a successful college career. And then post college really set me up nice. But that switch, I would say started to happen towards the end of high school. And then when I made the decision, okay, I'm done playing football, I'm done with this. I've got some good habits that I've learned from this. What do I need to point those to? And my freshman year of college, I really started to figure that out, I think. And that really set me up for the rest of my college experience.
Awesome. So probably 16 to 18 is really when that switch happened. Which is good, right? Like there's a ton of people today, and that's kind of part of wanting to do this. Is like there's so much of the youth and so many people that even adults that still don't know which direction they want to go.
Yeah.
A lot of that's because of fear, right? Like the fear of change, the fear of failure. But I think it's cool to see like, hey, I'm gonna be a football player. I'm gonna be a football player. I'm gonna be a football player. Shift.
Sure.
I'm gonna be an attorney.
Yeah.
But taking the tools that you learned throughout your football career and your youth and being around your mom and your dad, and being able to implement those same tools into the attorney avenue.
Yeah.
And then you fast tracked it. I mean, again, like, between you and Hayden, you guys have your own practice. Yep. Hayden is also young.
Yeah.
And you're doing well, right? You're my attorney for all kinds of crazy stuff.
Sure, yeah.
I call you on a Tuesday and I'm like, hey, I need help. But I heard you say I'm surrounding myself. So like the people that you surrounded yourself with, your coaches, your parents, your siblings, your wife, all of these people were also pushing you to support you.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important to realize, especially in our younger years, even now, who do you surround yourself with, and how does that help you keep pushing? So, if you put yourself around a bunch of young attorneys that just wanted to do the easy cases, right? They wanted to do hey, it's a quick cash grab. I can run this thing for forever. Yeah. And this is me.
Right.
It's more likely that you're going to stay confined to those same parameters.
Yeah.
But I would say just from knowing you and hearing you talk, like you're very similar to me in the mindset of like, let's find all of these people that make me look like I don't know what I'm doing,
right, and
let me surround myself with them, so that I can level up, and then continuously put yourself around different people. So, what kind of company do you keep?
Yeah.
And what kind of company have you? I always like to say, like, I never feel like I did a whole episode about being better and being different. But man, there's so much to who you surround yourself with. I always tell everybody, if you're around someone that drinks nonstop or that does drugs or anything like that, there's a much larger chance that you're going to walk that path. Yeah. So I've always been one to kind of separate myself. Hey, I'm not going to delete you from my life because we're not walking down the same path together. Right. However, I'm not going to hang out with you every single day because I'm afraid you're going to cap my mentality. Yeah. So what kind of people are you surrounding yourself with today? And then obviously the state representative, like that's something that I guarantee you're surrounded by people, and then you took a leap. So talk about that, the fears that went into that, and clearly you are it today. So you didn't let it lead you, but I guarantee you were scared.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, that's an awesome question. I love that surround yourself question. Couple things on that. The first is I'm blessed in my immediate family and immediate business relationships to be surrounded by people that I can go to for counsel on all kinds of things. And that's kind of my first line of defense if I'm making a decision, if I'm struggling with something, or hey, should we buy the bank building next door? I've got really good people in my corner in my immediate family. I think one of the most important decisions you make in your life is who you marry.
Right.
And my wife is truly, not just a friend and a partner, but somebody that I seek counsel from. And hey, should I do this? A good example, when I got accepted into the Army Reserve. So I was accepted as out of law school to direct commission as a first lieutenant. That was a big jump. I had never, I wasn't in ROTC in college. I wasn't, and what it meant was we got married in June of 2021, and I left in January of 2022 for about 6 months for active duty military training. And so the first person I asked was my wife. What do you think about this? We're gonna buy it. We get married. We buy our home out here in Mount Washington. November timeframe. It's got me leaving in January, and I'm going to be gone for 6 months. And she, no hesitation, was like, "Got to do it. Got to do it," because she knew what my future goals were. That this would be a great way. I'd always wanted to serve in the military. That I would regret not doing it, and that would advance me. It would make me a better attorney. It would make me, there was a lot to gain from that. Now it was scary. But that first line of counsel there was incredible, and that's really a nice thing to have in a spouse. I always say, my parents, my dad he's my chief of staff when it comes to political stuff. He's been around politics for a long time, somebody that I really turn to for advice, and same with my mom, who's now been a district judge for 16 years. So in my immediate family, I've got this first line of counsel that's really strategically important for me in any decision I make. Then I pair that with a couple other people in my business life. So, I surrounded myself in college. I was in a fraternity, lived in a fraternity house. And so, there's a lot that goes into that, right. But you meet some, and all of them were great guys. Some of them probably a little more driven than others. But my roommate in college, Sloan Alley, who's now a very successful financial planner, who's somebody that was always very driven, very, very knew where he wanted to be, knew where he wanted to get to.
Right.
And so that's somebody that we a partner in commercial real estate, and is a very successful financial advisor. So another person that I've surrounded myself with. My business partner in the law firm, and also part of some other ventures, is Hayden Sweat, who had been successful, and he was where I wanted to be. So I'm in law school. I'm coming back here. He started his own practice without me, years before I graduated law school, and had a good reputation, was doing all, he was exactly where I wanted to be when I got out of law school. Yep. And so I was lucky enough that he took me on as a law partner so that we could do that. So, I try to surround myself with people, one, that are smarter than me, yep. Which all those people are, and two, that, honest counsel, and are, we might not have the same goals, right. But similar, we're trying to get to the same destination.
The mindset's the same. The goals fluctuate.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. Yeah. So, hey, I don't want to speak for Hayden, but I don't think he wants to run for office at any point, really. He'd be a great judge one day if he wants to do it, but I don't think that's necessarily where that's been a big part of my, goals and mindset. But we have very similar business goals. We both want to be successful. We both want to say yes to as much as we can. And so that's been pretty cool but that's kind of I would say my first line of counsel and those friends I've surrounded myself with. When it comes to the state house, you walk in a room, there's 100 state legislators. I get elected in a special election in 2024. And I was the youngest. I was the baby of the House. I was the youngest member of the House of Representatives. I had to come in. Russell Weber, who was the representative for a long time out here, he steps down. So they set this special election. Kentucky is a part-time legislature. So they run from basically January to April every year.
Okay.
On odd number years, that's 30 days. You go 30 days between January and April, 60 days in an even year. You pass the state budget, billions of dollars are being spent. I come in with about 2 weeks left. They haven't voted on the budget yet, and we're trying to get a $25 million hospital in the North End. So there is work to be done right away. I have no idea. The last time I had been in Frankfurt was working for Attorney General Cameron. I was in a little tiny closet in the basement. I was like allowed to like buzz in and go down to my little room, and I'm doing and now you've got the run of the place, and you got to figure out where to park, where to eat, where the bathrooms are, and you got to vote on millions and millions of dollars to be spent in tax dollars. And so you walk in there, and there's 100 legislators. I'm in the super majority. There's 80 Republicans, and you're surrounded by really, really smart people. But you don't know any of them, really. You don't know, okay, who do I trust? Who do I not trust? Who do I talk to? Who do I? And so I was lucky to be mentored by some great people up there. We have great Bullitt County representation. So Tom Huff, Emily Calloway, both also represent parts of Bullitt. They took me in and were extremely helpful. Made some really good friends and looked for those people. I didn't look for the loudest voice in the room necessarily. I didn't look for the loudest or even the quiet. You try to find somebody that's like, okay, I've seen how they vote. I've seen how they conduct themselves. Who up here is respected in a professional manner? Right. And I looked for those folks, found some of them, and that kind of guided me through that 2 weeks. Now, once that ended, we just wrapped up this current legislative session, and I was there the whole time. That's even given me a better insight, and I've made some really great friends. Representative Chris Lewis out of Fern Creek, many others. There's a group of young people that came in. I'm no longer the youngest. J.T. Payne out of Henderson, Mitch Whitaker, Aaron Thompson, just to name a few, of really smart, younger, newer legislators, again, smarter than me, that we can text about issues, we can jump on a phone call. Hey, what are you thinking about this? Is this good for the state? Is this good for your area of the state? And that has made a huge difference here this last session and now rolling into my next term.
Very cool. So if you're the smartest guy in the room, find a new room.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. If I'm the smartest guy in the room, I'm nervous.
Yes.
Something wrong.
If everyone's coming to just me, I want to go to a room where like a few people are coming to me.
Something's wrong.
And that allows growth. That allows you to be able to see different perspectives, look through different lenses, and learn. So kind of the like I like to say, I'm a sponge, right? Like I like to get around people that know more than me, that have done more than me, that understand more than me. And I want to be around them. I want to hear them. I want to listen to them. So similar to what you're saying, I don't want to go into a room where somebody's screaming, trying to bully their way into being the smartest person. Right. But I also don't want the person that won't open their mouth and say anything.
You got it.
That's just going to kind of sit on their opinion or sit on their knowledge. Because for me, I see the loud person maybe not knowing as much as they think they do. The quiet person not wanting anyone else to be able to take their thunder, or maybe they might, if they hear me say this, they're going to take my idea. I want that person right in the middle of the road. That's like, hey, I want more people to care. I want more people to learn, and I want to see people excel around me. Right. And if I can be a part of that, let me be a part of that. Mm-hmm. So you've also done the going back to the firm. You're doing all the wrong things like I did, and you hired your family, and you're working with your family, and you're using your family. But I spoke about that. They say don't hire your family and don't work with your friends. You and Hayden are friends. You're now partners. You've got two other guys that are with you and Hayden, correct? That are doing commercial space, and you're doing that in a four-way partnership. Yep. Then you've got your siblings working with you. Mm-hmm. You're talking to your dad. You're talking to your mom. You're using them as counsel. You've got your wife coming into the office. Yep. Eventually, probably going to be a part of that in a bigger stage.
Sure.
But it's working. But I think the difference is I see you as someone that's not chasing a dollar. I see you as someone that's chasing these different levels of success. Yeah. And you want to bring the people that helped you get there with you as you go. And you can't do that by shutting them out. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that every sibling or every parent or or every uncle or anything like that is the right fit to work with you or be with you. But there's a whole lot of reassurance. So a lot of the times I make up my mind and I know what I want and I know which direction I'm going to go. And I'll put feelers out to my family or to my friends and I'll say, hey, what do you think about this? And in a selfish manner, I honestly don't necessarily care what they think about it.
Yeah.
I just want their reassurance that they're going to support me along the journey.
Sure.
And that's a huge thing because I trust them. And I know if it's something that's terrible or if it's something, if it's a logo or a slogan or an event or, we're going to go into roofing or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's a terrible thing. They're going to say like, hey, you're an idiot. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You have zero business doing this. And that's going to at least put me in check to reset and make sure, like, am I the right fit for this? And what else do I need to do to ensure that I am the right fit for this? So if my dad is like, son, you've lost your mind. Why? And then I'm going to take that, and it might piss me off in the beginning.
Yeah.
But I have a good enough relationship, and I'm good enough in my own mindset to go like, okay, what's the reason for that, and how can I improve so that that's not his opinion?
Right.
And is it, feedback is a gift. Not all feedback needs to produce a result because he may not know all of the things I've done on the back end.
Right.
But again, that goes back to the responsibility I have in that relationship. Have I shared with him like, hey, I've gotten online and I've done these classes, I've got certified, I found these people, this is how it's going to work? Or have I just went to him and said like, hey, we're getting into this?
Yeah.
And then him being like, what are you talking about? Like, no, I've got people, I've got knowledge, I've been working on this, I've been working towards this, and I've surrounded myself with smarter human beings.
Yep.
They're going to help me get there. The response is usually going to be like, cool. And that's how I kind of address it. Like, hey, here's this, and this. What do you think? I think it's awesome. For me, that's confirmation that I'm here to support and help you go after it. And that helps. That helps a lot because I'm surrounding myself with people whose opinions I value, who I think can better me as a human being and better my surroundings, and I can help with them as well. Like it's a trade-off, right? Like, hey, if I get good at this, like, hey, I'd love to have you come in. You're loving to have like your sister going through. You've got your brother that's there. And just really being able to, I don't think a lot of the people that I surround myself with, and you probably feel the same way, you tell me whether you think this is true or not, they pour more into me than I pour into them. Yeah. Although they don't necessarily see that. Yeah. Just having them there is the comfort. Having our wives support us. Shelby's the same way. I'm like, babe, let's buy a winery. And she's like, whatever you think. And I'm like, okay. So just the blind support because they believe in us so much. But what I don't think that they see that we need is the comfort of knowing that they're going to be there come hell or high water. Right. Success or failure. The riches or being poor. We've got someone that's going to love us for us. Right. Not what we write on our pieces of paper or what, what our is on our walls or what's in our bank account. And not being money driven. That's very, very important. It's very important to go, hey, I don't want to ruin relationships by my decisions to pursue success. Yeah. So I want to make sure that, hey, if I'm pushing for this new venture or if I'm pushing to be more successful in this venture, are you still going to love who I am? Right. Are you still going to support me as who I am? And if this is going to change that, that's what matters. Yeah. It could be a $10 million venture. And if my wife says, honey, I don't know if I can stick with you through this, it's really going to put stress on me and it's really going to put stress on the family. I'm out. Yeah. I'm out. Exactly. I need her. Yeah. And I need my support group and I need my circle to go like, dude, this is really cool. Like, let's go after it. Whatever you need. If you need help at the winery. So we closed on the winery Monday. I have no clue what I'm doing. I've got people that worked there before I did that know what they're doing. I'm surrounding myself with people and I told them, hey, you know more than I do. I will shadow you. Yeah. I want to learn from you. But here's what I can do. I can change the things that you don't like or that you wish would be different. I just need to understand it first. Yeah. And I had a whole group of people that was just like, this is really cool. It's awesome. So I get in there and there's this building that's completely full of stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, it's going to take me forever to go through all of this and clean it out. So I call up to the office for our install business, and I'm like, hey, if there's anybody that's caught up that it won't put them behind, and they want to, right? Like this isn't a necessity. Like I hired you to schedule jobs or answer phones or manage areas. I didn't hire you to come help me clean a building out.
Right.
This has to be a want thing. If anybody wants to do that, could you just put the word out? And there was six of my go-getter, my girls that I freaking love to death. They all got caught up, and they, to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if they weren't all the way caught up, but they went home and got caught up that night.
Yeah.
I mean, within an hour they showed up, and I don't know if it was quite what they thought we were going to be doing when we got there, but it was an old building that's been there for 14 years. Previous owner, it was a catch-all. And which most places are, right? I have catch-alls. Everybody's got their catch-alls. Yeah. And they show up, and I mean, we're going through, there's snake skeletons, mouse, dead mice. Yeah. Like, it's not good. I told them, I said, hey, listen, free manicures on me after we get done here. But the fact, man, that they showed up, and then I showed them what I wanted to do. And you know what? They weren't expecting it. They were in like nicer clothes, and it was spur of the moment, like, hey, I got to get this done so that I can bring stuff from the inside to the outside, but this has to get done first. And my little army showed up. Yeah. And they stayed there, and they busted their ass. And, then my wife and my kids show up, and my kids are out there helping. I've got some of the field managers that showed up. My sister and brother-in-law showed up late and stayed there till like 11 o'clock at night with me. Like, that's the circle, man. That's the people that you want to say, go get it, because they're not telling you to go get it alone. Yeah. They're telling you, go get it. We're here to support you in anything that you need. Right. And having those people will allow you to excel. Yep. Right? That might not be their vision. Their vision might be that they get to see you get there and be a part of that. Mm-hmm. Don't be blind to the people you surround yourself with, and ensure that they have a shared goal in what you're trying to do, but also make sure you're there for them, right? So I'm sure, your sister, your brother, your parents, Hayden, it's a back scratching session, right? Yep. Like, hey, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I want to be there for you. My sisters, a lot of the girls we talked about, putting the washing machine in the dryer, like whatever. Hey, I'm here. Like, I'm here because I know when I call and I go, I got this barn with a bunch of dead stuff and dirt. They're there, but they also know, like, hey, Tim, my car's messed up. Can I work from home, or can you help me? Or I've got this going on, or my kids got this going on. And like, hey, man, family first. Like, what do you need from me? Right. That's the circle. That's the circle that everybody should want to have around them. And if you've got people that's just like, hey, let's go out and party, or let's go out and gamble, or let's go out and do drugs, or hey, why are you working so hard? Screw that. Like, man, you don't have to delete them from your life. But you've got to distance yourself enough that they don't bring you down, because you are who you hang out with at some point. Yeah. You surround yourself enough. It's inevitable. Yeah. It's going to subconsciously weigh on you, lean on you, and slow you down. So,
you're all over it. A couple things on that. What we've really done, and we hired all families. So our office manager is Hayden's mom, Marsha Sweat, who is incredible and basically runs the show. I mean, she keeps us going. We've got other great staff that's not related to us. Kai and Jordan that work for us are amazing. All of them in that exact same boat. We had that flood, I guess now a month ago. All of them down there, including my mom, the judge, coming over and lifting boxes, taking everything upstairs. I mean, it was really cool to see. The one thing though, and I had to jot a note because I'm not smart enough to remember it, but what we're talking about, that support system versus yes men, I think is really, really important. And you hit on it talking about Shelby, winery, let's go. But if you had this 10 million idea that maybe she didn't think you should do, she's going to tell you that, and you're not going to do it. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference, I think. I think there's a line there that's really, really important to understand running a business, running for office, any of that, is that support system has got to be honest with you. Yep. And just because they give you feedback that you might not like doesn't mean they're not being supportive. And that goes like, if Caitlin really thought joining the Army Reserve was a bad idea, she would tell me. Yeah. And I would listen to that, because it was I know she's going to be honest and support instead of just, oh yeah, do whatever you want.
Right.
Same thing when you're in a business. Hayden and I, we don't agree on every decision we make, but I know if he's coming to me with something, then it's important because we're supportive of each other. I think there's a line there that's really, really important. And sometimes your counsel might not give you an answer that you like, and you might even disagree with that. There's circles. When I decided that I was going to run for this seat, there's two things can be true. My parents were incredibly supportive, and they said, if you want to do this, we're all in. We're going to back you. We think you'd be a good fit. They also, talking to my dad, was like, do you really want to do that? I mean, you've got a successful practice going. You've got this Army. You're busy all the time. You're going to be, it does pull you away from family sometimes. Are you sure that that's really what you want to do? There's positive, supportive counsel doesn't just mean telling you what you want to hear. 100%. And I think that's a really important thing that I know you've got and that I've got and that really helps.
Yes. Selfish versus selfless.
Right.
So the selfish man or woman does it no matter who it affects.
Yeah.
The selfless person does it because they have a higher purpose to it.
Right.
Chasing the dollar Shelby, you don't understand. It's a 10 million. This can change our lives.
Yeah.
You're right. $10 million can change your life.
Right.
But so can a divorce.
Yeah.
So can not knowing who your children are.
Yep.
So can separating yourself from your family and friends. So can traveling so often and so much that you're eating fast food nonstop. Yep. You're probably living in a bar somewhere outside of the hours.
Yeah.
That hotel life, man, I've lived it. It's hard, and I was in a lot of ways selfish in the beginning of the Crume Installations expansion venture. It was what I wanted. Mm-hmm. It was how I wanted. And I don't regret it because it did allow me to go like, holy crap, I need to be more selfless.
Yeah. I still have to check myself all the time.
Yeah,
it's hard.
It's a fine line. It's
a
very fine line. And,
Right.
and I would recommend to everyone to like check in with that. Check in on if it's selfless or selfish, because it's a degree of difference. It's not much.
Yeah.
And the only way to know that is to surround yourself with people that will give you that feedback of going like, hey, are you doing this for the right reasons?
Yeah.
And even, you might have all of your friends or your extended family or your intermediate family that say like, go for it.
Yeah.
But then the spouse is like, hey, I don't know if this is a good idea. Well, who knows you better?
Right.
At this age, right? My dad knows me as the boy that lived with him until I was 17, 18.
Right.
He's not lived with me since.
Yeah.
My wife has lived with me since I was 17.
Yeah.
So she knows who I am today.
Yeah.
She knows genuinely how it's going to affect us, right?
Yeah.
The pool. I was literally last night, I got home and I'm like, God, I got to get this pool figured out. Like I haven't done anything with it in like a week. It's been raining. I got to make sure that what I'm doing doesn't take away from me taking care of the pool, because that's my job.
Right.
That's my husbandly and fatherly duties, is to make sure those kids want to swim, they can swim. And guys, I've been too busy. I bought this winery. And now I'm making excuses. I'm making excuses for what I've already committed to them as a husband and a dad.
Yeah.
So that's selfish. There's no excuses.
Right.
I put a thing on Facebook and Instagram the other day. It says, if you're tired, do it tired.
Yeah, I love that.
It doesn't mean don't do it.
Right.
And I've been repeating that, especially this week in my head.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've been gone from 8 in the morning to 11, 12 o'clock at night, just getting at it. And I'm tired. This morning I woke up and I'm like, I gotta do a podcast. I'm tired.
Yeah.
And then I laughed. I said, you're not tired. You're just uninspired. Look at what you're doing.
Yeah.
Look at where you're going. Look at, poor you had to go to your winery and work hard. Like, come on, bro. Like, don't get in that mentality.
Right.
Check in. And Madison up at the office, my assistant, she is really great at being honest with me and as my wife. And she was just like, oh, poor you.
Yeah.
Up here working on this. And I'm like, man, how stupid am I, man?
Yeah.
Like, come on. And that goes to a lot of people, right? Like, oh, you know what? There's a leak in the ceiling at the law office. Oh, this is so annoying. there's a leak in the ceiling of your law
Right.
office.
Right.
Like, that's what we should be hearing.
Yeah.
I have a law office and I have the opportunity to fix a leak. Whereas some people are worried about the leak in their cardboard box on the side of the road.
Yeah.
We don't have problems.
Right.
We don't have problems, but it's very hard to keep that perspective.
I love that. Caitlin always, she sends me these, things on Instagram or whatever. And I love the ones that talk about, like, think about if you 5 years ago, 10 years ago, could see where you're at now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like, that's a great mindset to get into. And it's like, man, that's true. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, do I really, next weekend I've got, we call it Battle Assembly Drill. So for 4 days, I got to go to Fort Knox. And I'm reading the schedule, and it's, we got to go qualify on the M4, and we got to do land navigation. And then I've got to do my legal work for the Army too. And I'm just jawing at home. And then it's like, then you stop for a minute. It's like, man, you get to go to Fort Knox and shoot guns and get paid to do it.
Yes.
And it's like, shut up, man.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
And you got to do your law stuff as well. Like, you poor guy.
Yeah, you get paid to wear camouflage and hang out for 4 days. Like, stop.
I've got a lot of people, and most of my Army at the office, they're much better at this today, but it did take a while. I'm up at the winery right now, and I've got a laptop open in the lobby. I'm dressed like I'm about to go back to installing. Literally, I was wearing my Crume t-shirt and what I would wear if I was putting your dishwasher in. People are coming in wanting to meet the new owners. I look like trash. I'm getting phone calls. I'm over here trying to catch up on emails. We're filling out new applications for different ventures, getting all the insurances and stuff lined out, making sure that the licenses are there. Just all of this stuff, man. And thank God that I've been able to work through the multitask and not, I've got to do this. No, man, I've got to be able to do all of this at once. So I've poured a lot into a lot of our field managers and leadership team up at the office to say, like, hey, when you're out and you're doing store visits or you're doing job sites or you're training new installers, the emails and the responsibilities that you have while you're in this office are still yours while you're outside of it. And they're like, well, I've been driving all day. And I'm like, well, it's a great thing that there's a hotel with Wi-Fi when you get back.
Yeah.
Don't stop pushing. Don't give yourself an excuse to get to that next level of success.
Yeah.
And thank God today I've got we've dwindled, not dwindled, but we've had people come in, we've had people step back down, we've had people that stepped up, kind of all over the board, just the different personalities and different goals. Not everybody's got to have that goal, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, Tim, I don't want to go out and drive 200 miles a day and do 5 jobs and then go answer 14 emails and return text messages and all this stuff. Like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Cool. Then let's put you somewhere where that can be what happens. I'm meeting the new people at the winery that have worked there before me. They've worked there for years, 10 plus years. And I tell them, like, hey, I want to know what you're good at. I want to know what you hate. I want to know what you want to change.
Yeah.
Make me a list. Now, granted, every human's going to take everything that they hate and try to say, like, I don't want to take the trash out. I don't want to wipe the counters. I don't want to do, I want to come in. I want to pour glasses of wine and I want to go home. Like, cool. We'll make sure you can do that.
Yeah.
But I need you to take these as well. But hey, if you're having to go outside and pick weeds, or if you're having to get on the lawnmower and mow the grass, we're going to get someone to pick weeds and mow grass. We're going to get someone to take care of the things that's not really in that job description.
Right.
I don't want you doing something that you don't want to do because you're never going to do it great.
Yeah.
Tell me what you want and let me see if that fits into the role that we've got.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge difference too in business and in life is like you're never going to force a round peg into a square hole.
Right.
You're going to have to find the square peg.
Yeah.
And then take the round peg and put it in the round hole. They're both still functioning. They're both still useful, but they're made that way for a reason.
Yeah.
Find their strengths and push on those.
Right. Yeah. I love that. Well, and I think something that I've really noticed, and Hayden and I say it all the time, we really balance each other when it comes to our strengths and weaknesses. And that has made for us to have a success, a successful law firm. He is very detail oriented. very real estate transactions. He can get in the weeds. That's him and Caitlin. Both of them. They can get in the weeds on something and the most minute detail and figure it out and find it. I'm a big picture guy.
Yep.
You got to have both if you're going to run it. I mean, especially a law firm. And so we've been able to find that balance. Like, hey, here's what I'm good at. Here's what I'm not good at. I'm not good at looking at deeds and figuring out legal descriptions and stuff, or some minute detail in probate law or whatever. He is.
Yep.
And then, hey, I'm really good at this, but maybe I'm not as strong in X, Y, and whatever it is. We've been able to balance each other, and I really think together we have been way more successful than if there was a Hayden Sweat law firm on one floor and the Peyton Griffee law firm on the other floor. It wouldn't work.
Him killing you with the minute details, you killing him with the big picture.
Yeah, it's like it works so well together because it complements each other.
Yes. Here's the big picture. Can you find
how do we execute
the finite details?
Right.
I 100% agree with that because I call you a lot, and you're wonderful. And when we first met, I'm like, hey, I'm a relationship guy.
Yeah.
Like whatever I'm going to come at you with isn't going to be probably what you're normally used to.
Sure.
You've been wonderful at accepting that.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of times where you're just like, hey, let me get with Hayden.
Yeah.
Because I want to do this justice.
Yeah.
You told me the other day, you're like, hey, this isn't necessarily my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But I've got a guy.
Yeah.
And like that's important. We all need that guy or that girl. Like, hey,
Yep.
I can't go build your basement.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people that do a lot of things, and we can get the damn basement built.
Yeah. I love that.
So I think you're really, really good at that, of knowing your strengths and obviously leaning into them.
Yeah.
But knowing your weaknesses and surrounding yourself
Yeah.
with strengths of your weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So let's move to the future.
Yeah.
So we've got, again, law office. You're into the real estate game, state representative, captain in the Army.
Yeah.
This is 28 years. What's 38 and 48? I know you've got them. I know you're like me. You're going to put this goal out of like, I'm never going to achieve this one, but I'm going to run as fast and as hard as I can towards it. But then here's my realistic. I do realistic and unrealistic. Like, hey, maybe I want to be the first president of Mars when we finally get there.
Yeah. Elon will take me up. Yeah. It's tough. So in some ways I do, and I'll get into them, some of my future aspirations. The other thing though, I was looking back at a notebook that I had, that I wrote in my first year of law school, and I had a 10-year plan in it. And to be honest, it's what I wanted to do, public service. I wanted to serve in the military in some capacity, and I wanted to own a business. And so in some ways, I feel like the dog that caught the car sometimes. It's like, oh, man, we hit them all. We're there. But you got to keep growing. You got to keep pushing things to the next level. For me, it's hard because I love all three. I really consider I've got three careers. I've got the military career, the political career, the business career. And I love all three of them. And right now, it's like I feel like I'm the luckiest guy alive. I get to do all three of them.
Right.
At some point, though, something's got to give. I think that what will cause me to do that will be when we have children, because I can't be doing all three of those and being a good dad. I just don't know how to balance that at that point. So I'm going to have to figure out which of those. I've got goals for all three of them, but one of them at the very least is not going to be able to happen because I'm going to need to focus on the other two and being a good parent. Right. So, my gut is I do love the political side of what I do. Now, there's a couple of things that could affect that. I'm running for re-election. I'll be up in 26 for my state house seat. It's a 2-year term. I love serving in the state house. You could lose, though. I didn't have opposition my first time. Certainly could have opposition this time, and I'm not naive to think that, especially now that I've served for a while, there are people that do not like me, do not like what I vote on, and the people of Bullitt County might decide, you know what, we got somebody else that's better. So you could lose that. But if I'm lucky enough to continue in that, my goal would be, if an opportunity came to either serve in D.C. or maybe as Attorney General, and I thought I had a realistic chance of that, I would take a shot at that. If I felt like, but it's kind of a funny goal because it's not me saying, and it's different than everything else I've done in my career. It's not me saying I'm definitely going to one day run for the 2nd congressional district seat
Right.
or the attorney general seat. I would be open to that goal, and I will look at that if I feel like I could serve in a capacity that's meaningful in those roles, if that makes sense. So that's kind of it is a goal, but it's also not one that I'm just I am going to definitely run for attorney general one day.
Right.
I might not, I really, but if I thought that I could serve in a meaningful capacity and be a benefit to the state, I would do that. I would do that.
I'm going to bring this back because I love bringing it all back. So what I'm hearing you say is, if the opportunity arises, I won't be blind to it.
Yeah.
I will be looking for that opportunity.
Yeah.
Whether it's on the right, on the left,
Right.
or directly in front of me.
Right.
I'm not going to be blind to it, and
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of it.
Yes, exactly.
I'm scared. It's
Yeah.
scary.
Right.
But I'm not afraid of it. And that's a big goal.
Yeah.
That's a big, scary a BHAG. I don't know if you ever heard of a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal.
I like that.
That
Yeah.
is a BHAG.
Yeah.
But man, you just went through the notebook that you wrote 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was a BHAG as well.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
and it's check, check, check,
Yeah.
check. We checked the boxes. So you're comfortable with where you are, but you're not done.
Right.
And I think that is also very, very crucial. And looking ahead too. So like, hey, I don't have children, but I'm already worried about what my decisions
Yeah.
will do to my family. And having the right people in the right areas, having the right circles, having the right mindset, not being afraid to fail or afraid to take a leap, but also keeping in mind that, I talk about, jumping off the cliff with a parachute and making sure that the parachute, has at least been tested before
Yeah.
you just,
Yeah.
don't use a Kroger bag like
Right.
like everybody told us when we were kids, jump off the roof with a Kroger
Yeah.
bag. I tried that once on a shed. It didn't work. But now, especially more than ever, what we've got to be sure that we see is there's a rope tied around our waist, similar to where you used to pull
Right.
your siblings around in.
Yeah.
Well, now it's got your wife,
Yeah.
and it's going to have your kids, and it's got your business partner,
Right.
and it's got your parents, and it's got all the people that work with you, and all the people that rely on you, and we've got political people that are tied to you. We've got military people that are tied to you. We've got tenants that
Yeah.
are tied to you. We've got clients that are tied to you.
Yeah.
So now when you go to jump off that cliff, you've got a rope around your waist,
Yeah.
but it's got 1,000 people
Yeah.
that also has that rope around their waist that's tied to you.
Yeah.
So I like that you're slowing down to reset and go, hey, I still want to keep cliff diving.
Yeah.
But I've got to make sure that I understand that it's not just me jumping off
Right.
of the cliff anymore.
That's exactly right.
So
Yeah.
don't be. I feel like I say blind 700 times every time we do these, but
It's good.
There's
Yeah.
a whole lot of people
Yeah.
that you're so blind to
did
so
too.
much, and
Yeah.
as am I.
Yeah.
Like, man, you're pulling a lot of people down or up.
Yeah.
Make sure you understand that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited. Well, I'll definitely be voting for you, as should everybody else that's watching this.
Appreciate it.
I'm going to keep calling you at 8 p.m. and being like, hey, man,
Please do.
I don't know. I don't know
Phone's
what I'm
always
doing
on.
here.
It's ready. Yeah.
And yeah, I appreciate your service 100%. And I'm excited to see the building that you guys are getting rolling and going out in Shepherdsville. If you need a commercial space, obviously get with Peyton.
Please.
They've got a great space. They're great people. And I'm excited. I'm excited to be affiliated with you and have you in my circle for the future. I think it's going to be really cool to watch you excel. I'm 10 years older than you, and I feel like you're 10 years ahead of me in a
Not
lot
at
of
all.
different ventures, which
Well,
is great.
I appreciate you, Tim, man. I think you're incredibly impressive person. This is super cool what you're doing with the podcast, and just thrilled to be on today.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Let's keep going, and we'll have you back at some point. We're going to let you fast track into you keep talking about being comfortable, and we'll see, but I have a feeling we'll be having different conversations in the next 12 to 24 months. But as always, like, anything's possible, right? When you take the blinders off, when you see the opportunities
Yep.
around you, when you're not afraid, when you go through life and you are just conscious of the decisions you make and the people that are around you,
Yeah.
and how it affects or infects others, and just go after it.
That's right.
I appreciate you being here, and we'll keep going down this path together.
Thanks, Tim.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
How about it?
Money.
I think
it went really well.
Yeah, it was good.
Very well. Thank you for tuning in to the CrumeCast podcast. We're excited to continue to share our story with you. Our new guests that are coming on have a lot more to tell. You've got a lot more to learn, so we really hope that you keep tuning in, and we will see you next time. Have a blessed day.